I just had a pleasure seeing Coraline on a big screen. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Channel in the video, and today I'll be sharing my thoughts and my experience on Coraline that came out in 2009. But Fathom Events decided to re-release this film on a big screen for one day only, due to the re-release on Blu-ray that was released by Shout Factory. I'll put the photo around here that I already pre-ordered because it's a nicer edition that I currently own on Blu-ray, but it's a studio release. But it's time to do an upgrade, if you will. But you know what? This is the one-time, occasion that I have to see this movie again on a big screen, because last time I saw this movie in theaters was back in 2009 when I saw it in the opening weekend, and I was 10 years old. And let's share my experience watching this movie. Many people know that I love Coraline. I love this movie. I absolutely do. Until to this day, this is a film that I can be watched every October because it's a very creepy, eerie, stop motion film that is filled with such creativity, and I just love stop motion animation. But not only that, but my first time watch, I didn't even like this movie. Actually, I hated this movie for the longer time when I was 10 years old, because this movie literally freaked me out as a kid. The idea that you came across the other mother is just something I do not want. Because I love my mom. I actually do. And there's no way in heck I would love the other mother. And that whole idea just really creeped me out. But not only that, the opening scene. As soon as the opening scene, the opening credits, if you will, starts, I just freaked out because the music, the way it was animated, the way you see this creepy hands, very creepy hands, I'm talking about when when she was sewing the Coraline doll, if you will. That particular opening credit scene freaked me out as a 10-year-old boy. It literally freaked me out. And ever since, I actually hate this movie. I'm never gonna watch it again because it's freaking me out. I actually had a nightmare about this movie. It was one of those movies I just don't want to revisit because it freaked me out. And I just don't want to relive that moment again, because the idea of going to another parallel universe and seeing that your mom is a different mom, but yet something dark goes along. But years after years, I just cannot stand that movie. I will never watch that movie until I decided, yeah, I'm gonna have to face my fear over Coraline. So randomly, I was in a cruise ship, like a family. It was a family vacation back in 2010 or 11. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. It was a family vacation. We went to a cruise, and my brother and I had to be in a daycare while my mom and my dad hang out with my uncle and my aunts and all that. One of the employee, the daycare sitter, whatever, babysitter, something like that, had a DVD of Coraline. I was like, you know what? I want to watch that movie. I want to face my fear. And I actually liked the movie. Didn't love it as yet, but I liked the movie. That mindset, I appreciate the creativity that goes on, the stop motion style, how unique it is. And then years later, I was in my early teens, started collecting Blu-rays. That's 13, that's 14. That's where I got my copy of Coraline, and I want to revisit it again. And that's where I now fell in love with the film. I absolutely love this movie, and that's where I found it. Wow, this is a great movie. Not just a kids movie, a stop motion movie. It's phenomenal done. And I did read the book by Neil Gaiman back in middle school days, 6th grade or 5th grade, when we had to read the book. And after reading the book, I got excited because I get to see the movie again. My teacher had that movie, so we read the book first. It was a fun time. It was like a really cool read. I didn't know it was based on the book back in the day when I watched this movie for the first time in theaters, so I didn't know it was a book. And it was so cool to read the book to talk about the differences for the movie. Anyway, I saw the movie again after we finished the book. It was a group project thing, and we read the book, we saw the movie, and we talked about the differences, and there were a lot of differences. And then that's my experience. I got the Blu-ray. I now love the movie. I've seen it so many times. Every October, I rewatch this movie many times, and just fell in love with this movie and how incredible creative this film is. And yeah, and the book. I love the book by Neil Gaiman. And one of the coolest thing about the book is you see the illustrations. That's a cool part. The illustration, which I'll show up on the screen right now, it's very creepy and just unsettling at times for a kid's book, which is very cool and really ballsy for Neil Gaiman to do so. And yeah, that's my experience on Coraline. Now to my thoughts on the film, my in detail, if you will. Yeah, like I said, I love this movie. Not only I love this movie, is that this is a dark film for a kid's movie. It's very dark. If you see some moments in the movie, especially spoiler, if you have not seen this movie, click off. The other mother wanted to sew Coraline eyes for a button. That's the stuff of nightmares I'm talking about. That's the stuff I got freaked out by as a kid. The idea of the other mother wanting to sew your eyes with buttons. No, thank you. No gracias. No. That idea alone just freaked me out, and the more I view it, the more I grew up, and the more I rewatch this movie, the realization that this is a kids film. It's so dark for a kids film. That level of nightmare-ish stuff, it's just, oh my god, this is a kids movie in a dark element, a dark theme, that the other mother try and basically abduct Coraline and just want her to sew her eyes for a button. This is rated PG. That's creepy. And obviously the famous transformation scene, the other mother transformed to the real identity, that's who she is, Mrs. Beldam, and how creepy it is, scrawny she is. But the final form that we see, I remember as a kid, first time watching it in theaters, I just creeped out by that scene. Now let's talk about the most important parts of this movie. My two favorite aspects of this movie that are considered, the highlight basically. Let's talk about the first one, the score. The score is composed by Bruno Colares, I believe, Colares. The music alone just gives you so many. It's a character, I'm trying to say. It is creepy, it is unsettling, it is different, unique. At the same time, it creates atmosphere for the movie. It tells a story that fits for the score. It's very atmospheric, it's very creepy, and it's very eerie, and I love it, especially the opening credits when you start. It will showcase what kind of movie is this. The score is a character to itself. That's my favorite part about the movie, is the score. And also, I don't hear a lot of people talk about the score for Coraline. It's one of my favorite aspects in the movie, and just releasing that score again on the big screen in the surround sound, it creates an atmosphere for the movie that just create an amazing experience watching this movie, how different it is as a kid's movie. My second favorite aspect of the film is the creativity that puts all together. That this is a stop motion film, but yet this is a very different kind of stop motion film. This is like our first film celebrating 15 years anniversary. They've done a lot of different genre. This is more like a horror thing, and I just love the creativity that goes on. They can express what the character will look like and what the tone is going to be and how it will tell. And I love the fact that they went full on stop motion instead of like 2D animated film. I think it was genius to do a stop motion because it fit for the story. It actually fits really extremely well for this type of story, and I love the animation style in this. It's just it gives you another creepy effect to it that this feels almost like real, but yet very atmospheric tone. The MVP for this film is the stop motion animators that they put this together. Without them, the film doesn't exist. The creativity is there. The imagination is all there. You can tell the hard work is all paid off really well. It's just you have to be creative and imaginative and find a solution to make the story, told. So those are my two favorite aspects of the film is the score and the creativity that put together. This is just a great movie overall. It's a character journey for Coraline to grow, to show that there is character growth overall in the overarching story, and how she finds herself something very unusual and different. Yet, this is about a theme that be careful what you're wishing for. Be grateful for what you have already, and not be, the opposite of it, and how twisted and dark it is. What I love about this film, like I said, is that how dark it is and how creepy it is for a kids film. If I have kids, I will never show this movie until they're ready, to show this movie, when they're in the right age to show this movie. I was a wimp back in the day. I freaked out. I saw it in theaters for the first time. Yeah, I know. But this is Coraline for me is a film that I gave multiple tries. I started hating the movie, then I started liking this movie, and now I fully love this movie and I appreciate the movie even more when I grow up. So yeah, it was a big evolution. Giving this movie a try and giving it a second chance for me to face my fear, knowing it's just a movie. It's just a story, but a great story overall. It's a fun movie that had very creepy atmospheric, and yet there's some lightheartedness going on. It's a character piece as well for Coraline Jones to see her character growth and the creativity that pulled together of the stop motion animation. I just love everything about this movie. The score, the direction, the style, the mood, the animation of the stop motion. The story is really great, and it's a great film to watch in the month of October. I just so happy to revisit this film again on the big screen for the second time. My second time seeing this movie on the big screen. First time being was back in 2009 when on the opening weekend, and I just love the voice cast. Everything about this movie, what I said, is just I love this movie. I absolutely do, and yeah, Coraline is just phenomenal. I'm not gonna give it a grading for this movie. You already know in Letterboxd right now I give it like 5 out of 5 stars. This is a more a revisited type of video, like me revisiting this film, talking about my experience, and talking about why I love this movie, and I just love this movie. I said that word so many times. I love this movie. I do. I actually do. Really happy to went to the theater and watch it on a big screen that is meant to be seen, and yeah. Comment below what you think of this movie. And tell me about your experience watching this movie for the first time. Did you hated it? Did you love it? Did you got freaked out by this movie? Or like, I don't know. Tell me what's your favorite part of this movie. That'd be fun to hear. Cause there's so many great parts in this movie. My favorite is the third act. You're rooting for Coraline Jones to stop this evil mother. Basically, get this 3 MacGuffin item that to save this 3 poor ghosts. Yeah. And that you can tell the character growth that for Coraline Jones for this movie, and yeah, I absolutely love this movie. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and follow me on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram, link below. Have a good one. Take care. Nope.